Hey friends, it's Sherry again. Today what I want to talk to you about is with all this ascension process and transformation going on, I was really guided today to do a video for our children or about our children because it's really, really important and they're on my mind heavily and significantly right now. And so what I really want to call this video today is how our children are going to save us. And my book Divinely Guided that I released early this year really focused on that topic, and I really went into depth about the different New Age children, what they're here to do, and how parents can help navigate through such a transformational period because these children are so different. And I want to the video today, what I was guided to talk about is how this all ties into the ascension process and how it's affecting them, and kind of what the end game is for these children, and what they're going to be able to accomplish once we kind of all get into that fifth dimensional, higher dimensional state, whether it's fifth dimension or whether or not you believe in that, or it really doesn't matter. Just know that we're going into a higher vibrational state, which will allow us to function in a much more peaceful way of life. And so we are not boggled down by all the negativity and the way of life that is in this anxiety-ridden fight or flight sympathetic mode that we've been in for hundreds of years. So we're shifting, which is a really good thing, which I've talked about a few times. But today, the children have been on my mind a lot. My own children have been on my mind. And this video doesn't necessarily have to be for just parents. This is just having an awareness of the children and how special they are and what they're doing for all of us. Whether you have children, grandchildren, it doesn't matter. Even if you don't have any, just understand and have a knowing that the children around us are truly special and how they're contributing to the collective awakening. So what I want to talk about first is the ascension process and how it's been kind of, how we've been working up to this point, children specifically. So in my book, I talk about different waves of children. So we have crystals, we have rainbows, we have stars, we have hybrids, and then we have the divine children, which are the newest that are coming onto this planet between 2019 and 2023, which are really, really high vibrational light beings that are sensational, and they're going to be all over the world. And I've already met a few of them, and they're I can't wait to see as they grow what their capabilities are going to be, but more importantly, how they raise the vibration of the world around us. So many of you probably don't know the specifics, so I'll go into it really quickly and then I'll move on. So we have, and there are other types of children. I'm not giving you every single category, but these are the most common. And these are the ones I talk about in my book, so I know more about them. So we have crystal children, and those are those children that are in their teen and early 20 years right now. Again, they can be older and they can be younger, but this is the majority of the crystal children. So they are in their teens and they're in their 20s, and they are extremely sensitive. They're extremely compassionate, empathetic. They don't understand hate. You know, they see these riots on TV, they see these bad things happening in the world, and they literally have a disconnect because they come from such a high vibration of love that they don't understand how people can look at each other and treat each other in such a poor way. So there's a disconnect there. They are highly, highly sensitive. So the way they process things is they typically will cry for no reason because they are so highly sensitive. They are affected by other people's energies. And if you bring in that fight or flight or freeze body response that I talk about in the sympathetic mode, crystal children tend to freeze. So if they're in a situation where they're being bullied, or they are really struggling, or maybe perhaps they're getting in trouble with their parents, they will likely just freeze, and they won't know what to do. Their body just shuts down energetically, and they won't fight you. They will just be silent. And that's very frustrating because I have one of those children, and sometimes I'm trying to talk through things through with him, and he just won't even speak because they just don't know how to react, because they're also so worried about how you're feeling that they don't want to say anything that's going to upset you further, so they just choose to freeze. So then we have, but the purpose of them, circling back for a second, the reason they came onto this earth is to provide unconditional love. So to bring back to humanity, to show people, to teach their parents, to teach their teachers, to teach teachers in school, to teach other children, and just the world around them, just by being in their presence, what unconditional love really feels like. So they open people's hearts in a way that have been closed off for such a long period of time. And so they teach you to operate from a place of love and compassion, and which we haven't done for many centuries. Because of all the negativity and being in this dense third dimensional space. So they came in to teach everybody, and they chose their parents for a specific reason. And I can honestly say, having a crystal first opened up my heart in a way that I never expected. And so that's crystal children. So then we have star children have a lot more star qualities. Crystals are more attached to the earth, so they're crystals. They like crystals, or they enjoy being outside, outdoor activities. Star children are a little bit younger, so 5 to or mid-teens. Again, they can overlap, and they can be older and they can be younger. But star children are more galactic. They have more star seed qualities. There's different types of stars, and so many people believe that star seeds are outworldly. They're extraterrestrial, and they are not human, and that's absolutely not the case. They are a light being that comes into the earth, into a human form, with much more of a star, high vibrational galactic experience, and they have less of a connection to the earth. They're actually usually, as they grow, or even as young children, really interested in the planets and the stars and astronomy and all of those things. Not always, but a lot of the times that's what they're interested in. And so they are also very sensitive and also very compassionate, but they typically are introverted and a little bit more quiet and a little shy, and they will show you love in their own way, where crystals are completely open. Stars are a little bit more, they're a little bit more reserved. They need to feel comfortable, but once they do, they will show you love in ways that you never thought possible. And so they are the ones that are going to try to pick apart and dismantle the way we do things on Earth, with jobs and politics and medicine and anything possible that you can think of. They're the ones coming in to kind of reprogram everything, redo it, because they're thinking from a place of a high vibration. They still have that empathy and that love and compassion for other people, but they won't be bullied by others. They won't be taken advantage of, because they are on a specific mission. Then we have rainbow children, who are younger, so 8 and younger, and still being born to this day. And they have the qualities of indigos, which I didn't talk about. They're older, like I'm an indigo, stars, and crystals. They kind of have the attributes of all, because they are the ones that really come in like a wrecking ball. They're outgoing, they're stubborn, they're resilient, they're passionate. They might push back to their parents when your parents say no. They don't accept that, and I don't care what you're saying, because this is the way I want to do it, and I don't really care what you think. And it's not coming from a place of misbehavior. It's coming from a place of knowingness. Like they just somehow know at such a small young age that their way is the right way, because they are operating at such a high vibration that they can see 10 steps ahead. And so they are they act as though they are much older than they actually are, because they genuinely in their heart feel like they're almost running the home, like they're the parents and they're in charge. And the important thing I'm trying to relay with all of these children is that as parents and as society, we are really strongly being encouraged to allow them to be the way they are, and not try to change them or mold them into what's comfortable for us, or in a way that we can parent them in one particular way that's easy for us. The idea is that we allow them to be just how they are, so that they can play out what it is they came here to do. They are working from day one by just their energy being around other people as infants, and as they grow and they catch the heart of others, and they lead by example. Stars are leaders, but a little bit more reserved, where rainbows are super leaders. Those are the ones that will take charge, that will be the new CEOs and run the country and run the world, and teach society how to operate from a higher perspective, a higher space, a higher vibration, but still with compassion and love and sensitivity, because they are also they also need constant validation. So they look to their parents and their peers and their teachers with such high respect that they need to feel like they're being appreciated and noticed for their work, because they are they feed off of that validation. Divine children are unique in that they are the first to come through in probably many cycles. And when I say cycles, I mean probably millions of years, probably back from Atlantean time. Divine children are coming in with a full spectrum of knowledge. They don't have that veil over them where they don't remember. They know exactly who they are. They know exactly where they come from. They are telepathic. They're psychic, whatever you want to call it. All their senses are heightened. Their vibration is so high when they come in that they literally couldn't come into this earth until 2019 and 2023. Because they needed the earth to be in that process of transitioning to the third to the fifth dimension, because they can't actually be on this earth in a physical body, in this vessel, at the vibrational frequency that they resonate with. It's not possible. Their bodies would break down. They would not be able to function in society. It would be their vibration is too strong. Their frequency is too high. So now is the time they're being able to come into this earth as the highest vibrating light beings that at least I know about in such a large quantity. I mean, there'll be millions of them all over the place, all over the world, to kind of finish the job with these children, to pull us into the new earth and anchor us down. They are the anchors. They will anchor us into the new earth, the fifth dimension, the higher vibration. So these divine children, because they're coming in a little bit early, what I was told is that they're integrating their bodies, their physical bodies are integrating with their energetic vibrational capability, if that's kind of how I want to say it, slowly. So up until their age of 5 and 6 years old is what I'm told, or how I understand it to be, that it will take that long for them to fully integrate into themselves. Their energetic body and physical body will take up to 5 or 6 years to come together so that they can fully operate from the vibration that they're meant to be at in this earth plane, but in the fifth dimension. So it makes sense to me now, if we're headed into the fifth dimension in the next year or two, and we have been for a couple of years, that it's this slow process. But then the children likely in 2022 and 2023 are going to integrate much faster, because we're already going to be in this vibration. So what does this mean for us right now? So I truly believe that the generations to come and the children now are our saviors. They're coming here to change the trajectory of humanity, and to bring us back to the reason why we came here to the first place. They are pure, evolved, ascended masters, high vibrational souls, whatever you want to call them, or however you want to refer to them as. They are here to shift us. They are here to teach us. That's why the crystals and even the indigos in the 80s and 90s, and then the crystals in the early 2000s are coming in, because their roles at such a young age is to shift us, is to unravel us, is to make us get out of this mold that we've been placed in for hundreds of years, and break us out of that. They are our teachers. They are more evolved than we are. They're more evolved with their parents, which makes it really difficult to parent them, because we have no idea how to work with them. And so me having 3 of the different children, I have to parent all 3 of them differently, because they respond differently, they act differently, they require different explanations, and that's very tiring, especially for someone like myself, because I'm known for not having patience. And so this is a learning experience for me, but it's made me a better person. It's shaped the person that I'm becoming, who I will continue to be because of them, and the teachers that they're around, and the other adults that they run into in the street. And then when they're around other children like themselves, they're able to truly blossom. And so parenting these children it can be difficult, and they're often diagnosed with ADHD, and they're hyperactive, and they have behavioral issues. And the reason for that is because they're coming into this earth with a vibration that's so much higher than ours, that they are so smart and they're so intelligent that they can't sit still. Their vibration is so strong. So they literally have surges where they have to shake, or they are running around, or all of a sudden they just go crazy. They seemingly go crazy because their vibration is so high that they're having a disconnect, and they're trying to integrate the physical body and the energetic body, and it's hard to do that in this vessel, even as an adult. But you can imagine in a small body where it's condensed, it's really difficult for them. So it appears as though they're acting out, or they are disagreeing, or being stubborn, but really, or being very passionate. But that's just because of the vibration is so much higher than ours, and that's where collectively humanity is headed. We're going into that higher vibration. So they're just trying to they're here to pull us over there. They're here to help bring us up, and to teach us to stop trying to allow programming to keep us in a little box. Don't do this, and you have to dress this way, and you have to talk this way, and no, don't do that, because well, I don't know why, but I don't know, I was told that when I was a child, so it is what it is. No, they're trying to teach us to stop trying to place them into a box. Stop trying to shift them, stop trying to change them, stop trying to medicate them, because that lowers their vibration down. That places them into that box that you're trying to put them in. So it's easier for you, it's easier for society, it's easier for the teachers, but that's not what's for their highest good. That will derail them for what they're here to do to begin with. So we need to break out of this box mentality and let these children be free. Let them do what they want to do. Let them dress how they want to dress to some degree. Let them listen to them, because oftentimes what they have to say is astonishing. It's like mind-blowing if you just give them the opportunity to speak. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. There are moments where they're trying to talk to me and I'm doing something and I'm like, not paying any attention. And I'm learning every single day. So I'm not perfect. Every single day I try my best to allow them to teach me something new, because they do, if you just give them the opportunity to do so. So where we're moving in this new earth, this ascension process that I've talked about, and you've heard about, I'm not the first to bring it forward, but I'm just giving you the messages in my way for my audience or my listeners who resonate with what I have to say, who are willing to listen to what I have to say. And if it's not your truth, then that's okay. I'm not here to convince anybody either. So you just don't listen to the videos, or that's okay. So where we're headed into this new dimensional state of consciousness, collective consciousness, where however you want to refer to it as. The other day I referred to it as a light bright. Imagine if you take that metaphor of the light bright even further, and these children, their light is their light is so bright on that light bright that it's almost blinding, because their vibration is so pure and so high. Their frequency is so high that if you imagine that light bright with all the lights, there are lights that are a little bit less bright. Those are ours, the older people, and that have been here longer and are more integrated to this third dimensional earth plane. So our lights are bright, they're like the old school light bulbs, and so they take a lot of energy and they're not as bright, but we have these new light bulbs that last a long time. And my husband would kill me because I can't even think of what they're called right now, but they're all over our house. But anyways, the newer children are operating from that high vibrational energy that doesn't even require that much, because they are operating from a frequency that channels through them with such ease. Where with us, to try to get up to that frequency, it's harder, because we've allowed our emotional well-being to dictate where we go. And we need to get to a space in humanity where we are spiritually centered. We are spiritually centered with this earth. We are spiritually centered and grounded with our children, and where we are collectively going as humanity, as a human race. Our children are working tirelessly to get us there. We have to give them more credit, and we have to give them more space, and we have to give them more capability to carry out their mission, because they are so important. Not just my children, not just your children, just all the children on the earth. We need to let them flourish. I believe that the educational system will be dismantling over the last few years. I was told that 5 or 6 years ago. I didn't quite understand what that meant, but I'm seeing it. I see that politics and just everything is going to unravel and dismantle, and that's okay. It's scary. It's going to be scary at first, but it's really for our highest good, because then once we erase the board and we have a clearer picture, it's not so crowded, then we can see, oh wow, there is actually a better way. Our children are are not being allowed to be their best self in the school systems that they're in right now. I mean, they try their best. I'm not putting down teachers or the education system at all. They're working with what they have, but I believe it's going to be much more expansive for the children so that they can almost dictate where they're going, because right now I don't think that a lot of the adults have the capability of seeing their vision. So we need to allow the space for us to see their vision. Quickly, I'll talk about autism and Asperger's and those and things like that. I want to quickly just say two things on that. We don't need to try to feel bad for them. We don't need to try to change them. Yes, it's a difficult situation for the parents and the child, but I want you to know that they chose to come in because they are our teachers, almost even into a higher vibration than some of the other ones, because they are, those parents are the people in those communities that they're affected by. They need the most unraveling in that moment. So those parents really they were there to get their parents' attention, to help them shift and help the world shift. So they're placed strategically for a reason. They're highly evolved, highly intelligent beings that are simply struggling to be in this confined flesh and bone physical body, in this physical dense atmosphere. But my hope and my belief truly is, as we ascend into higher vibrations, and they're not really needed anymore as far as learning, they will actually integrate. How should I say this? We will actually integrate more into their level, and then we will stop looking at them like they're different, because when we're in a higher vibrational state, they will actually be able to settle down a little bit, because their vibration is going to match the vibration of the plane, of the Earth's plane, and they won't feel so disconcerted. They won't feel so out of place, and so we're just trying to catch up to them, and then they're going to thrive, and we're going to look at them and not notice much of a difference because we're finally at their level. And so just something to think about, just a different perspective to look at. You may not resonate with what I'm saying, and that's okay, but that's just kind of what I'm seeing and what I'm being guided to give you that alternate perspective. Okay, so yeah, I think that's all. So just take a moment to recognize that this ascension process is highly designed. How am I going to say this? Highly designed so that the children, millions of children all over the world, can carry forward their mission in the vibration that is most ideal for them, is most ideal for all of us to evolve into a new space, a new frequency that is ideal for them. Because we're getting older generations, we're getting older, and we're acclimating. But the newer generations, they need to feel at home. They need to feel like they could spread their wings and do what they are here to do. And they need to be in a higher vibrational frequency in order to do that. And that is where we're headed. So a lot of this ascension process, a lot of this alchemizing all the negative energy and the evil on earth and all of that, and the adults are participating, and everybody, the mass awakening that's happening is literally dusting and clearing the space, getting everything out of the way. So then this what's it called? This army, spiritual army of love and light and children can then come through. We are clearing the space for them. That's all we're doing. So that, yes, we can live in a better, more peaceful space, of course, because it's not all about the children. I recognize that not everybody has children, and they're probably looking at me like, well, it can't all be about the children. It's not. What I'm saying is we're helping to clear the space, to raise the vibration so that they can come through, they can march through and carry forward their mission to make a better life for all of us. Animals, Mother Earth, elderly, it doesn't matter. They are clearing, and we are clearing the space for them to carry forward a mission so that we can all benefit and we can all have a much more spiritually centered, loving, kind, high vibrational existence. So that's all, folks, today. Sorry that this wasn't exactly what you were probably expecting, but I think this was really important to get through, and I've been thinking a lot about it, so I knew that was my guide's way of telling me I needed to get this out. And then later this week, I'll kind of go back to, okay, how can we get through this ascension process with ease and transform together for the adults? So we'll get there. Okay, so talk to you soon, and stay focused, stay positive, stay in the light. Do not react to the negativity. Okay, see you guys later. Bye.